as Matt Brady joins us. And Kenny Brooks and the women have done a pretty good job of putting some pressure on you, haven't they, over the years?
Yeah, he's a tough standard to catch up to, and he's a wonderful guy. He's a great basketball coach, and he's obviously a former player at JMU, so he's invested in our program as well.
Yeah, but Charlie, this man has turned in a couple of 21-win seasons in the last 3 years, so the change is coming on the men's side, certainly at JMU, and for the first time in recent memory, I know you lose a good player in Denzel Bowles, but for so many of the first 3 years, there's been injuries and guys coming back. You have a pretty set lineup coming back this year for the first time in memory.
Well, and I say that. For the first time in my 4 seasons, we have 2 things I think you need to be successful in college basketball. We have a returning nucleus of starters. We haven't had that in my 4 years until this year. And then we have senior upper-class guards that have started. And as our league proved last year, seniors win in college basketball, and senior guards take you a long way. So I hope to be a little smarter this year with senior guards and returning starters.
You talk about your experienced players. Devon Moore and Julius Wells have been absolutely sensational for you for their whole career. Of course, Devon missed a season hurt, but they have to be great leaders for your basketball team.
Yeah, and they're eager to be leaders, I think, finally. And I think now they finally feel like this is their program. As much as they've been significant players for our program, they haven't felt like it's their team. But now they do. Certainly Julius feels like he's got to have a great senior season. He wants to play college basketball. He wants to play basketball after college. Devon Moore is certainly, I think, one of the better point guards in our league. And we have Humpty Hitchens, another senior guard that we think is really good. And then Andre Semenov has been in the program. This will be his 4th year. We think is a really good player that can win his position almost any game out.
Yeah, I don't have to convince my partner here about Andre Semenov. Every time we've done a JMU game, you rave about Andre Semenov. You love this kid, don't you?
I do.
John?
I think he's so fundamentally sound, and he's a great competitor. He just hadn't been able to stay healthy for you.
No, and the other thing is he's not been able to put on any weight. So, we want to play Andre as a mismatched 4-man. If he's a small forward, maybe he's not. Maybe he doesn't have as many advantages on the court. But he's put on 2 pounds from last year, so we think he's a little stronger. He is healthy, and he's going to play a little bit more this year as long as he can stay healthy. And we're all going to knock on wood and cross our fingers and hope he can stay on the court.
Well, he ought to hang out with us over the summer, right, Charlie? We'll help him. We'll help him put on a little.
I might have last night at dinner. But, tell us a little bit about some of the new players.
Well, we have two guys that are older transfers. One sat out last year, A.J. Davis, who's a wing. We think he's really talented. He's got to become a really good player because he's really talented, and there obviously is a big difference between the two. And then we have a 4-year transfer from Virginia Tech, Gene Swindle, who the NCAA granted him immediate eligibility because he had a catastrophic knee injury 2 years ago. Hasn't played really a minute of college basketball, but he's a center. He's 6'10", he's 260 pounds. And we think he's going to fill in admirably with Trayvon Flores to give us a 2-headed center that we know is going to be really invested defensively to help our team be productive. And then 3 freshmen we think are going to impact our team at some point. We think those 3 freshmen were going to be really good players and starters on good teams in the future. They just won't have that opportunity this year, I don't think.
Do you feel, Matt, that now as you enter your 4th season that this is really kind of the team that you have your impact on? You've been able to bring the people in you want. Your recruits are now, as you said, the seniors, the leaders on this team?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I would have thought that last year. But last year's team, of our top 7 guys, 5 of them didn't play or practice at JMU the year before. So I liked our team last year. We got off to a great start. We started 15-3. But we weren't good enough defensively to measure up. And the other thing is we got banged up by the best teams in this league. There's no shame in that. There's growing pains in college basketball. We had to go through those growing pains. I do think if I had had those 5 guys that hadn't practiced with us the year before, we would have had a better season last year. I do think that we have really no excuses this year. And while we have some uncertainty about our team, everybody does, I'm okay with uncertainty.
Is it also great for the kids to come in and see what this conference accomplished last year, saying if we are one of those good teams, we will get rewarded? Because the trickle-down effect of 3 bids and a NCAA Final Four run for VCU has got to have an effect on everybody in the league. How are you seeing it with your team?
Our kids clearly saw and watched what developed on the TV screens in March, with Old Dominion going to the buzzer with a team that played the national finals. George Mason going to the second round, playing, if not for the draw, easily would have been a Sweet 16 team, and obviously VCU's run. There was great teams in this league. Our players do recognize you're going to get rewarded if you play great. What our kids now understand is you've got to win every game. You got to win every home game. You got to go on the road. You got to win games on the road in this league. There's a huge challenge in front of us, and we understand that.
Well, Matt, it's always great seeing you. We wish you very good luck this year with a very entertaining team ahead. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Matt Brady, head men's basketball coach at James Madison University.
Go to ESPN3 for the complete replay of the 2011 CAA Basketball Media Day Live.